Okay, so alright, so unlike my last couple videos, I have no idea how many it's going to be, but it's probably going to be a couple videos on what to do when you get a new bike. This one's specific to the Ninja 250 because this is the same viewer request, okay? He was going from, it was an interesting email, actually. He had a 250 Cruiser, and what I'm assuming was his brother's Ninja 650R, and then now he has 2003 Ninja 250. So he's going from, I'm assuming the Cruiser was probably carbureted like this bike is, but I'm almost certain that the 650s are fuel injected. So that's going to be a difference for him. So I guess this video is just going to be some tips for riding a Ninja 250 because it is a finicky bike to some extent. And so I'll give you a few pointers, I suppose, on riding this bike. So first things first, you should know how to use a choke. That will obviously be necessary, and it's the same with any other carbureted bike, but for this bike, okay? What to tell you about this bike. Okay, so first off, is there somebody on a bicycle? No, never mind, sorry. This bike, okay? Very soft front forks. And chances are that'll catch you out the first time you're on the brakes hard. So watch for that, alright? And I guess I'll show you that. I don't know how I'll be able to illustrate it, but I'll grab the front brakes pretty hard up here. You can see that? You can see the forks diving right there? That's a horrible thing to do your brakes, but I guess for the purpose of the video, it will be necessary. So that was the fork dive, alright? Really quite substantial on this bike, but that fork dive lets you ride over bumpy roads and be really comfortable in general compared to a full-on sports bike. So fork dive is something you're definitely gonna notice the first time you ride it. A lot of people will get on this bike for having weak brakes because it only has a single disc on the front, but they've never come up short for me, so I think you're probably alright on the brake front. If you want to put stainless steel brake lines on it, I plan on doing that, and I'll show you guys when I do that. That's probably a good idea to give you even more consistent and predictable braking power. So you definitely want that. What else? Power band, okay? Depending on what bike you've ridden before this, or if you've never ridden a bike before this, the Ninja 250 has a very specific power band. You can bundle around. You know what? Why don't I've had an idea. I'm going to go grab my stuff, and we're going to take this out onto the open road of sorts, because I think I'm going to need a little bit more space. Okay guys, here we are for the rest of the Ninja 250 specific video, and let's see, I just talked to you about the fork dive that this bike is notorious for, and now I'm going to tell you about the, let's see, what were his concerns? Okay, I'm going to tell you about the power band, because on this bike, and any bike, but this bike specifically, there are a few different sort of areas in the power band, or areas in the rev range that have certain power characteristics. So, let's see, where can we go? Let's try the high school. Let's see, you'll look a car. So, with this bike, let me give you a view of the tacho. With this bike, from 0 RPMs to about 7,000, you're in sort of no man's land. There's not much power, and that's not good for much more than just bumbling around town. So like right here, it's a bit quieter, but when I open the throttle, it struggles to climb up, alright? So, below 6,500, 7,000, there's not much power, okay? And so, let's see, how fast am I going? Let's drop a gear. Okay, and so now we're at about 7,000 to 9,000, let's say, is the lower end of the power band, so there's some good pickup there. But where most of the power is from 9 up to, the peak power of this engine is at about 12.5. But as long as you're not on the track, you can rev it as high as you want. Different model years have different rev limiters, but once you get 9 on, that's where you'll feel the most power. And so if you need to do something, you need to get out of somebody's way real quick, that's where you want to do it. And let's see if I can demonstrate that to you. Okay guys, here we'll do a second gear pull for you. So you can see, or not second gear pull, but we do second gear from 9 up. And then you'll be able to see the power, alright? So first gear, second gear, so 9,000 wide open throttle. So that's where all the power is from 9 on, is where you'll find the most power in this engine. And so that's where you need to be if you need to be going quickly. And he had one more concern, which was cornering. He was worried about, or she, but I'm going to go with he. He was worried about the bike sliding out from underneath him, and because he thought he was leaning it a bit too far, or he wasn't sure when he would actually be leaning it too far, and which makes me think that he's never dragged his foot pegs, and that is usually a good indication that you're leaning the bike too far, because if you go much further beyond that, you're going to get into an uncomfortable situation that might result in tripoding, which will certainly end up with you crashing. So, but to demonstrate the cornering ability, okay, we're going to go back to where we just were, and I'll show you how far you can lean the bike. Oh, the other thing is, yeah, your toe will scrape before your foot peg does, depending on where you keep your feet. I'm going to slow down for here, because it's grassy. So things you'll notice your toe before you notice the foot peg. So if you notice your toe, you're probably going a bit fast. Alright, let's see, foot peg. My foot keeps hitting. I move my feet back. So chances are, if the balls of your feet aren't on the pegs, then your toes will hit first, okay? On this bike. And if they are on, you'll hear the foot pegs. So the bike won't ever slide out from underneath you. If you're on pavement like this, nice, clean, level pavement, you'll be fine. You'll never get to the point where the bike will slide out from underneath you. But paint, okay? Paint is your enemy. The front wheel will slide out from underneath you, even when it's dry, okay? That will happen. All right, let's see. Sorry, I'll pick it up in a second. Let's see if we can get the foot peg down. No, why can't I do it? What, am I nervous? Am I nervous because I'm on camera? Doesn't sound like me, does it? But let's see. Let's see if we can hear it. Oh, yes, there it was. Did you hear that? I felt it. So there's your foot peg. When you hear that, you've leaned too far. So straighten up if possible. But so painted blinds, okay? Oh, so if you're watching this video because you actually got, or well, no, this is just for, this isn't that video I just did. This is for this bike. This is true of all bikes though. Painted blinds, no matter if it's wet or dry, are more slippery than the road surface itself. And so you need to be cautious of those no matter what you're doing. It was on that corner actually. I was doing, it wasn't in the chicken strips video, but I was like racing around here basically as fast as I could. And I came in here like this, looked for cars. Okay, I came in. I was going a lot faster, but I got to here, and the front end stepped out, front end stepped out, front end stepped out. All 3 times I crossed the line, or 4, I didn't really count. But all 3 or 4 times I crossed the line, the front end like jutted out a little bit, okay? And, you know, as long as you're loose on the bars and you're sort of expecting that won't be a problem for you. You won't dump the bike. But other times that will happen. Sewer covers when it's raining. Anything metal when it's raining is incredibly slippery, and you will certainly notice it as you ride over it, especially if you're turning at all like that. That sewer drain would be really slippery, along with the paint. But anything else specific to this bike that I need to tell you about? Handling, you'll never outdo it. It'll stick with you for whatever you need. I told you about the power band. This bike will easily do 85 on the highway. You don't need to worry about highway speeds really. You should be fine on that. What else? Yeah, I mean, this is a really easy bike to ride. It's not very hard to ride fast, so you should be all set. Just take it slow as you would any other time. It's a good bike. It's carbureted, so your throttle response isn't going to be as immediate as it would be on a fuel-injected bike. But it can sure as hell do things like that, so it's a good bike. It's quick. If you need to slip the clutch to get going quicker because there's no torque, go for it. You must know how to, I would expect you to know how to slip the clutch if you're on your second motorcycle, so. No, damn it, I keep thinking this is the other video. Okay, if this is your first bike, you'll need to know how to slip the clutch, and that might be part of, I'm debating doing a series, like a basic rider's course series. I'm debating doing that at some point, but that's a huge undertaking, so. But anyways, so slipping the clutch might be necessary depending on how fast you want to go, like I just did there. But it's a great bike, a lot of fun. You can beat on it all you want. It's a great engine as long as you take care of it, and it's a blast. You get to rack through the gears. You don't get to do that on a Super Sport because, you know, first gear goes to 100 miles an hour, but first gear on this bike only goes to, 35. So you get to rack through the gears all you want. You get to hit red line all you want. It's a great little bike, ton of fun, and no matter how hard you ride it, the worst gas mileage I've ever gotten is 53 miles to the gallon. No matter what. And that was including my trip when I had all this shit on the back of it. So it's a great bike. You're gonna love it. It's a great bike. So that's all I got on tips about this bike. So wow, anything specific? Make sure you do the valves. If you don't know how to do it, there's a website which I'll link. It's the Ninja 250 FAQ, and I don't know of any other website like that for any other motorcycle, so it's pretty cool that you get that for this bike. And that will tell you everything, absolutely everything you need to know about maintenance for it. It has pictures for different tutorials, everything from changing oil to valve adjustments to replacing the engine, so you will be well informed if you visit that website. So I'll link that, and if you guys have any maintenance video requests, I know Rebel Yell did some for his bike, but I'm open to doing some for you. Let me know. There's some acceleration. It's quick, plenty quick for whatever you're going to be doing with it, so enjoy. Ninja 250, and I hope I see you out there. Bye, guys.